All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Lindsay Schubel-Nagel, and I'm the current Palatine Jaycees president. I'm also a member of the 2023 Palatine Jaycees Board of Directors Election Committee, also consisting of Sarah McKillop, Hannah Meadow, Alex Green, and Thomas Rocky. The meeting will be recorded to post for members who are unable to attend virtually. The candidate forum. Tonight is your opportunity to listen to the two Palatine Jaycees 2023 presidential candidates who are on the ballot and to hear their views on the issues. Thank you to those who submitted your questions to the candidates ahead of time. The order of the candidate responses will be rotated so that each candidate gets equal opportunities to respond first. So first we'll have the candidate introductions, 2 minutes for each candidate. We will do this best 2 out of 3 or 3.
It has, but it isn't letting me do my speakers.
And then there will be 2 prepared questions that are, the 2 prepared questions that are 3 minutes for each candidate. The candidates receive those ahead of time. And then there are 11 chapter member submitted questions that are 2 minutes each. Again, we'll start off the first one with rock, paper, scissors, and then alternate who gets to respond next. And then finally, we will have candidate closing remarks.
Anything?
Each. So, alas, hold on. I need to be able to see you again. Or just do it in your camera. And everybody can tell me what it looks like. All right. Ready, guys?
Yep.
Paper.
Wait, on shoot. Wait, on shoot.
I go on 3
or shoot. You have rock, paper, scissors.
Shoot. Yeah, on
Rock,
shoot.
paper,
Sorry.
scissors, shoot. Okay.
Yeah, I had to go do it in my head for a second.
Yeah, all right. All right,
Okay.
ready?
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, we got scissor cuts paper. So Megan's up 1.
Okay.
Next. Oh, we'll just keep it to 1. Megan,
Okay, that's fine.
please
Okay.
begin with your introduction.
My name is Megan O'Brien, and I've been a JC for 5.5 years. I joined the JCs to create connections and build my network for work, but I stayed because of the opportunities it has given me to grow, the friendships and camaraderie that all of you have helped build, and impact that we all make on a daily basis for our Palatine community. I've served in a variety of roles as a JC, from local director to community and chapter VP to programming manager for the state, to helping the JCI USA membership team to help grow chapters who seek to be the best they can be. In addition to serving these different roles, I've had the opportunity to chair a variety of projects while mentoring other members. Each of these opportunities, no matter the organization I've been assisting with, has given me the opportunity to learn something new, work with other members, build my leadership skills, and make a positive impact on the community. This in turn lets me share what I've learned with each of you and helps each of us dream big. I'm looking forward to tonight's Q&A to help you see how we are going to dare to dream in 2023 and how as president I can support you in your dreams.
Thank you, Megan.
You're welcome.
Whoops. I need to not mess with the screen.
You're fine.
All right, next up, Zach.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to this presidential candidate Q&A session. I want to say a quick thank you to the election committee for helping organize the event. For those that don't know me, my name is Zach Kulig. My wife, Courtney, and I moved to Palatine in the summer of 2015. We have a daughter, Addie, 2 dogs, and Izzy and Ray. I work in marketing for an industrial supply company, focusing on customer research and analysis. I also worked in their customer service departments to answer phone calls and emails to assist with customer issues across multiple areas. The analytical and interpersonal skills I developed across these roles, I believe, will help me respond to the challenges of the Palatine Jaycees presidency. I joined the Jaycees in the winter of 2015. After swearing I was only joining to play softball, I quickly found myself volunteering for a slew of projects, from Christmas tree lots, STEM fairs, potlucks, and bowling leagues. I also made my way onto several committees for large projects along the way, including Fit Family Field Days and multiple hometown fests and brew fests. I've held a number of board positions since joining the chapter, including chapter management, community development, and administrative vice presidents. I've served as the chapter's parliamentarian since 2019 and am this year's Illinois Jaycees Training Program project manager. From the experience I've had both as a regular and board member of this chapter, I feel I have the experience and knowledge to help every member of this chapter take hold of their JC experience and make it into something unique and self-fulfilling. It's my belief that the Jaycees offer the most unique volunteer experience, allowing each and every one of us to make it their own. I hope after this evening, you'll consider letting me help you all make it yours in 2023.
Thank you, Zach. All right, next up is the first of our prepared questions. So Megan, you will be answering first.
So our first question was for initiatives to
Here,
better the
so- sorry.
organization. No, you're fine.
Here, I can read it now. So 1 second. So the prepared question, number 1, as president, what will your initiatives be to better the organization and to engage the members? So Megan, please.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Lindsay. So over the past couple of weeks, I have released 5 goals and initiatives that I want to work with all of you on. So the first one is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So working together as a chapter to create and implement a DEI statement and incorporating that within our projects and trainings and being more inclusive and accessible to members throughout our community. The next one is recruiting more diverse membership. So focusing on those different communities within Palatine that we don't typically tap into and bringing them to events and focusing on truly learning about their communities and how we as a chapter can help benefit them as well as in turn benefit ourselves. Encouraging the continuation of new and engaging trainings for development and leadership opportunities for members. So really focusing on the member themselves and reaching out to them to see what you truly want to do. I have lots of goals for myself, but I really want to focus on what you want to do, where your passions, your dreams lie, and what leadership skills you want to develop for yourself. And then in turn, we can work together as a team to help you reach those goals. Assisting members to discover your full potential in the Jaycees. So whether that is to serve on the Palatine board, maybe you just want to run projects for your JC career. Maybe you just are looking to make friends or build connections to help you grow within your work environment. And then finally, marketing and creating engaging content around our events, but also during those times when we don't have events. What are we talking about on social media? Are we being a voice for our members? Are we being a voice for our Palatine community and highlighting those members who are doing things in the community to better that community? And then we always do a community survey. So really focusing on the survey itself and not necessarily sending out ideas, but looking for members to kind of share your ideas, passions, hobbies, skills, whether you possess those skills or it's something that you want to learn about. We can find someone within the chapter or within the community to help build that program or training and offer it to members so that we all learn something new and we can dream our grandest dreams that we want to dream. And then finally is offering a balanced programming system. So throughout all 4 areas, business, individual, community, and international, we all join for different reasons, like Zach and I have mentioned. We all stay for different reasons, but offering each member their own experience and having them have something that they want to go to all the time. So those are my initiatives for next year.
Wonderful. Thank you, Megan. And then Zach,
As
same
president,
question for you.
As president, my first priority would be to ensure continuous activation and engagement with as many members of this organization as possible. While recruitment will always be a central pillar to the continued success of the Palatine Jaycees, the health of the chapter of the organization requires many members to be actively engaged with the projects and happenings of the chapter. To ensure this, I would continue and strengthen our mentor program, which pairs junior members of usually about a year or less experience with long-term members of the Jaycees, usually about 2 years or more. This program gives members a chance to make one-on-one connections they may have not made otherwise outside of the chapter, and can help both members new and old find new passions they wish to pursue through the Jaycees. Programs like this ensure we can find strong members who would seek to step up to run our large standing projects such as Hometown Fest, Brewfest, Tree Lots, STEM fairs, as well as finding the future leaders of the organization. It also gives us the chance to have those conversations with people who just want to volunteer with projects and enjoy their time being a socialite with the Jaycees. All of those are valid and good reasons to join this chapter and continue to be engaged. Second, I would push to have the chapter involved in more diversity initiatives and engage with diversity groups in the greater Palatine area. In our own creed, we say at every meeting, we state that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations. There's no better way to apply this belief than reaching out to our BIPOC and LGBTQ plus community members and organizations to find out ways we can be supportive and effective allies, bring those perspectives back to our chapter, and help strengthen our own members and organization. Our relation with VG Pride has been a great start for this. We have many opportunities around us that we can seek out. I would engage with groups such as Harper College's Latinos Unidos, Muslim Student Association, and Black Student Union to help them develop their members along with our own. We have lots of young members and young leaders potential with a college like Harper in our backyard. And it is an untapped resource for this organization and for the members and the students there to join our chapter and bring their perspectives to us.
Wonderful. Thank you, Zach. Next up is the second prepared question. So Zach, you'll be answering first. Do you have any new project ideas or do you see any current projects that could use updating to better fit today's climate?
Absolutely. A new project idea I would love to see implemented as president would be a Learning the JC Logistics and Operations project. As we all know, we run several large projects that require installation and use of electrical, lighting, and sound equipment. We rely heavily on specific members and associates to assist us with this work. However, there is a growing need for more members to understand this and be involved to develop the hands-on experience with the installation and maintenance of these projects. And a project like this would allow our experienced members to pass on their working knowledge and let the chapter bring in trained professionals to help chapter members develop these skills. Not only are these skills invaluable in running these projects, but they're also directly transferable to things like basic home maintenance and other maintenance projects you may run into across your life. Associates or members with professional knowledge may not always be able to troubleshoot technical issues right away on our large projects. So having more trained JCs means we can respond and resolve potential issues quickly. As for projects that I'd like to see updated for current affairs and current climate, I would love to see an updated Fit Family Field Day. As a member and as one that I've enjoyed working on that project, I've had the pleasure of watching many kids in the Palatine community try new athletic experiences for the first time at that project. As the project has aged, however, turnout diminished as many people in the community were able to discover new activities offered by the Park District and its affiliated member clubs and organizations. However, there still remains a gap in access to some of those experiences due to cost of involvement for many of the community members who've benefited from this project. As we know, that project was directed at bringing in families from the northeast side of Palatine who are a little bit more disadvantaged economically and socially. Working alongside the Park District, I would look to see what the Jaycees could continue to do to offer access to some of these activities. From simple things like offering pickup games of t-ball or kickball in the park, flag football tournaments over a weekend, or even family yoga. The importance and benefits of staying active, doing things as a family or community cannot be overstated enough. With the active JCs we have in this chapter, I think a renewed field day or days would be an easy and fun project to breathe new life into.
Thank you, Zach. And Megan, your response?
Yes, so I, as an event planner, have always had a list of running event ideas that are always going through my head. Some really good ideas that I think would fit the Jaycees the best, especially as a growing young professional work membership. Bringing a professional pointer series and similar to an adulting 101. So giving our members the skills of public speaking, networking, business writing, interviewing skills. So working closely with the chamber and the Rotary, as those are professionals who have been around for probably longer than all of us have been in their industries, and seeing what skills and tips that they have for us to better our professional lives. and offering that to members on a monthly basis so that you get an in-depth feel and understanding of each of the different areas of professional skills, and then taking those skills and putting those into action. So attending a chamber event and taking those networking skills and starting to network within or with members of Palatine community. So as we do our projects, we're able to say, hey, I met this person at this networking event. I think they would be a great person that we could pull in, create an event, or this person is a really good mentor for one of our new members. They're really looking to get into the marketing industry. They've been in this industry for so long. I think they would be a great person that they could connect with, and giving members the opportunity to practice each skill. So when it does come time to like this contested race, you feel prepared speaking in front of people. You can write a script that you feel confident in. It sounds smoothly, or if you're going for a new job, you're able to take those interviewing skills and really hone in on everything that the interviewer is asking you, and you're able to get that job. As far as updating projects, I have definitely taken kind of a step back and really want to hear from members. I have great ideas, but I think really focusing on what members want next year and allowing each of you to dream and having your dreams come true will really help benefit our projects and make them coming to the current climate, whether that's diversity or tweaking a few things for Hometown Fest, or maybe changing the location of event. I think hearing members' opinions and truly listening to what they want is the most important that we can look at for next year in 2023.
Great, thank you, Megan. Next up is going to be sorry, this is annoying. The member submitted questions. So to choose who goes first, if we could bring back rock, paper, scissors just for one round. And then we will do the alternating responses after that. And so I'll let you rock,
Paper, scissors, shoot.
All right, Zach, rock, beat, scissors. So the first question submitted by the membership. How does your motto convey your overall vision for the chapter moving forward into 2023? So Zach, you have 2 minutes max.
I love this question. For me, I've actually had this motto in my head of make it yours in my head for some time. I remember it was when I first joined, I think it was talking with Pat DeMarco, and he said something that has kind of stuck with me my entire career as a JC, and that the JCs, and really this organization, is the only one I can think of, is an organization where you can put in and get out exactly what you do. So as much as you put in, you'll get that much out. Whether you just want to run projects every week, every other week, once a month, that's fine. You want to just volunteer for the big projects like Brewfest or Hometown Fest, that's fine. There is no committal to that. However, those of us who do want to go ahead and step up and do more projects, run more projects, be on committees, all those opportunities are always there for you to take, and those doors are always open, and you'll always find a supportive group of people there to help you through the door and to help you through the other side. So I truly want everyone to see where they're at in their JC career and be happy with what they have. And if they want to make something more of it, they can. If they want to keep going with the path they're on, that's great too. I just want everyone to be able to take their experience and make it theirs.
Great. Thank you, Zach. Megan, your response?
Thank you, Lindsay. So my motto is dream. So it was actually started by a conversation with Rick Tracy, feeling like he wasn't quite getting what he was hoping to get out of the JCs and really kind of looking for more empowerment. So it started on the basis of empowerment and kind of evolved into, what do you want to do? What do you want to see within the chapter. How are members going through the process of being a member? Are we really tapping into our new members to our fullest ability and really reaching our community and really including the community? So we've touched a lot of communities or a lot of different people within Palatine, and I think that's something that we do really great, but there's also still communities out there that we haven't quite reached. And that's kind of the challenge of dreaming. You set dreams for yourself that sometimes are unattainable. And we keep reaching for those dreams and reaching for the stars and hoping that one day that we do reach them. And when we do reach them, you feel an overwhelming sense of I've done something great. And I feel so, I just can't say the words. And being able to get to that point, I think, is how we're gonna dream in 2023. Letting each of you reach your fullest potential and dreaming for the stars and not saying no and just shooting for everything that you possibly could want as a JC.
Great, thank you, Megan. Next question. All right, Megan, you will reply first on this one. What is your plan for increasing diversity and making the Jaycees a more inclusive organization?
So diversity has really become a big thing in the past couple of years. I think it's been emphasized in a lot of our communities. Personally, through work, I've sat on quite a few different diversity groups, but bringing that, what I've learned from work, and bringing it into the Jaycees and giving that experience to everybody, whether you're someone who's new to the diversity world and inclusion and equity, maybe you don't know as much as you think you want, but you're very open to those choices. So working closely with Harper, and there's a group that does safe zone conversations. So pushing those lines of Hispanic, Latino, and Latinx communities and really knowing the difference between the three, and LGBTQ plus communities, understanding microaggressions and saying what things that you think are okay, but might be sound offensive to someone else, and looking at membership dues for those communities who may not have as much income as $65, seeing how we can subsidize memberships or sponsor memberships through programs so those passionate community members can be a part of the Jaycees and don't have to worry about the financial aspect of it. And creating an inclusive and accessible meeting space and event space, and looking at venues that are accessible to all communities, whether that's physical or if they're buildings and organizations that are associated with certain political views, and just making it a more open and comfortable environment for members.
Great, thank you. And Zach?
Megan made a lot of great points there, and I feel like I would just be parodying if I continued on. I know I did bring it up in my response to the first question, but in my head, what I'm thinking is we need to be, as Megan said, aware of things like microaggressions or our language. It was part of a project remediating a bunch of language in our marketing files at work, using outdated terms, even if they were industrial things, to get rid of those words out of our lexicon. So things like looking at and updating titles of projects like the Special Needs Memorial Carnival we have before Hometown Fest, finding more inclusive language, asking our members who are disabled, what is the language we can use so that we can make it more inclusive, and project the image that we want to be and see in the community. Again, working with the different BIPOC, LGBTQ organizations that are in the area, reaching out to other organizations such as Journeys to help with those who are struggling with homelessness or displacement, things like that. There are a lot of avenues that are available to us in this area. We just need to go out and seek them, and often that's the most uncomfortable part, is because we don't look like them, they don't look like us. There is a kind of an immediate gut reaction that both sides will probably feel. But if we can come in and be genuine and truly be ourselves, and adhere to the creed we all say every meeting, at the end of every meeting, and at the state level, I think we can really break down those barriers and push for more diversity in this chapter.
Great. Thank you, Zach. All right, next question. All right, first it will go to Zach. The average age of our chapter member is 33. How would you try to recruit younger members? Would you encourage Palatine to open up lowering the age requirement to 18 years old?
Sure. To recruit younger members, again, we have to meet them where they are. So going to places like Harper, finding other young leader organizations that have local chapters, either from colleges, community colleges, church groups, other civic organizations. If we can show them what the Jaycees are about, and that we are, a group of, for Palatine, to 21 to 40-year-olds, lets them know that it's not just, the Rotary clubs, the Kiwanis, who have, a little trend older in their membership, but there are people out there that are volunteering, that are like-minded, and have similar age experiences, or are at the similar stage in life, or maybe just ahead, and can be a mentoring shoulder as people progress through their lives. I would like to see Palatine move it down to 18. However, that does come with its set of challenges. We know that our chapter does tend to favor programs and activities that tend to require you to be 21 years or older. However, if we want to have a younger organization, we may have to reevaluate how we go about these. So things like bar crawls and things like that are still valuable. However, we are going to have to find new ways to engage younger members who may not want to do or cannot do activities like that. So perhaps it's just a sports watching party at maybe not a bar, but just at someone's house, or another venue that doesn't require you to be 21.
Great, thank you, Zach. And Megan, your response?
I feel like we're going to be piggybacking off of each other all night, Zach. I would, again, meet members where they are. So getting out into those high schools before they're even 18, talking to high schoolers to see what kind of volunteer experience they're looking for. It might not be something that they're thinking about right now because they're so young. But as you get into becoming a senior, looking at volunteer opportunities, they all need them now. So inviting them to JC events and sharing with them what the Jaycees are all about and what you can get out of the Jaycees, whether it's, I know we would all love them to be part of Palatine, but if they do move away and go off to another state or city that does have a Jaycees, they're all still part of the Jaycees. They're all doing what we all love to do, making an impact within the community, reaching out to those National Honor Society kids, and involving them and saying, hey, this is a great opportunity, and working with the chamber, with their young entrepreneurial group to help them find those skills of business making, and helping them create those businesses that they want to dream up when they get into college. I wouldn't be opposed to lowering the age to 18. I think the younger generation does have a lot of great ideas. They're very vocal about what they're passionate about, and following along with them and learning new things. They do probably know some more things that we do. So learning from them, we all learn something from everybody, is how I would approach it.
Great, thank you, Megan. All right, so the next question, Megan, you will be able to respond first. How would becoming the 2023 Palatine Jaycees president help you grow both personally and professionally?
I think as president, it does open up a wide variety of communication skills. So being able to communicate with your board and understanding how those board members want to be communicated to and how they will positively react to something that you say. And then understanding how your members want to get information. I think communication is a two-way street for everybody. How you listen to someone and how you can voice your opinions in a positive way that will help change everybody. I think professionally, it will give me, again, that communication skill, but also that patience and organization to truly listen to people and gather ideas. As an event planner, I'm always hearing committee members, volunteers' opinions, board members' opinions on how we can better do something, or if they have an idea, how we can implement that idea in an effective way, and making that focus be on, we're doing this to better our community or better ourselves, as well as giving that professional vibe and getting those leadership skills that would then help advance myself both within the Jaycees and at work to get into a higher level of event planning and really understanding those finer details of events without someone say, hey, did you forget this? Or nope, I got that. Is how being president would help me grow.
Great. Thank you, Megan. And Zach, your reply?
For me personally, I think the skills of not only time management and multitasking would be the two that I would be most keen on developing in my time as potential president. I think both professionally and personally, we all know how busy we can get with work projects, our day-to-day work, things at home. For those of us, I'm as a new parent, we have things that we have to take Addie to. We also have our own and my own personal life that I would like, fun things I want to schedule, making sure that I'm taking the time to take breaks and learn how to manage the workflows of both my professional work, Jaycees work, and personal experiences. I also do have aspirations, for those who've known me long enough, of potentially making a move into some kind of political career. I think managing and working within the presidential structure of the Jaycees allows me to develop listening skills, as Megan said, understanding how to listen, how to articulate points of view, how to mediate conflicts, and come to the best decision using the democratic processes we use within the Jaycee organization.
Great. Thank you, Zach. All right, next up, question 5. So this will first go to Zach. How do you intend to assist your vice presidents, project chairs, and members with any potential problematic issues that may happen with projects, or if the chapter is losing momentum?
It's a really good question. Every year, every year I've been a board member, we have run into issues like this. In 2020, we all know what happened. The world shut down. The best you can do as a president and a vice president or board member or any member at the Jaycees really is to sit down, let everyone know, hey, I've got your back. I'm right by your side. We're going to work through this together. Opening early and consistent lines of communication, especially with problematic issues, whether they be complaints from the public, issues getting insurance for some of our projects, issues with paying vendors, or anything like that. It's constant and open communication and honest communication. If a board member came to me and says, hey, I'm having a tough time either personally or whatnot with maybe dealing with a member, maybe there's something in their personal life, sitting down with them, letting them know that you're there for them, telling them that they take the time they need away if they need to step away, asking them immediately, what can I do to help you, whether that is take a piece of workload off of you, whether that might be finishing a PMG for some reason, collecting a final budget things. As for the chapter losing momentum, it is really then just going back to the chapter and finding what we want to do as a chapter, whether that is having more socials, doing more community outreach projects, doing more professional development. Again, just keeping open and honest lines of communication always is the most important thing.
Great. Thank you, Zach. And Megan, your response?
Yeah, so I would say really reaching out to members. When I first joined, I was always told that the Jaycees is a safe place to fail. There's always a group of people that's right behind you, literally or mentally and physically. They're there to help you pick things up when things don't go how you thought, or when things just, you have no idea how to fix them. Hometown Fest this past year, something we all didn't expect to happen, but being able to reach out to past presidents, how do we handle this? How do we go about telling the community that we're doing this, we're shutting down the fest? And again, like Zach said, being open and honest is the best thing that you can do in a time of problem. Just having people know what's going on. And when the chapter does lose that momentum, I think COVID was kind of really when we all realized, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? But reaching out to members and vice presidents and project chairs and saying, how can I help you? What can I do? Whether it's JC related or what's going on in your personal life. Are you struggling with work? Is there something going on with your family? Can I be that person that you can just talk to and I can take everything in and give you a solution, or just be that shoulder to cry on if you are having a bad day? Supporting members through their challenges and knowing that it's okay. We're all people, we go through things. Having that shoulder, that person you can go talk to is the best thing that you can be.
Great. Thank you, Megan. All right, next up, Megan, you'll answer first. If any of the board positions are vacant at the beginning of 2023, how would you ensure the roles' responsibilities are still accomplished? Also, how does that impact the other board members, in your opinion?
So my suggestion would be kind of divvying up that role. So Palatine is a very large chapter. We have vice presidents for all areas, while looking at other chapters across the state, they may not have a community VP or an individual development project chair. So working with chapters who don't necessarily have those roles and kind of seeing how they split up roles, but making it an even split with responsibilities. So that people don't feel so overwhelmed that you've just given them an entire VP position and they're like, well, I already have to do my position. How am I also going to do this position? And being that person who, if they are facing those struggles, that you can say, hey, I noticed this didn't get done. Do you want me to come and help? I don't mind. Or is this something that maybe I could just do one thing to help you get the rest of it done? And it impacts people, especially on the board, as you've gone into this role thinking I'm only doing this, and now Megan's given me all of this stuff to do. How am I going to do it? Being open with your chapter president and saying, hey, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this, or maybe I only want part of this. Could you do this half? And making it a balancing act and a compromise of what you're going to do and what they're going to do, so that board members don't feel overwhelmed, and then everyone's stressed throughout the year.
Great. Thank you, Megan. All right, Zach.
Like Megan, I would seek to first divvy up that role as needed. As Megan said, we are a large chapter. We have multiple VPs for all areas. other chapters, smaller chapters than us, often combine a few of them. The one I can think of most often is the combination of the administrative vice president and chapter management. Often that's done by one person. We have it with two. So divvying up that role on prior board member, my prior board years, we actually reallocated the responsibilities of the local directors out of chapter management and put it with the membership VP. Again, it made more sense for the membership VP to oversee them, as the local directors are the direct liaisons from the board to the chapter members. So reorganizing things like that where they make sense. And as some people may or may not know, a president is able to nominate and install any open positions throughout the year. And while we all have our friends who we think might do a good job, and it could easily be plugged in and played, I would first ask the board of directors if I had a specific person in mind, what they thought of them, would open and allow the debate, potentially even bring that person in to talk and, plead their case if they wanted to, and at least give the board the opportunity to say something, to ask questions, and be involved in making sure all of the work for a board gets done and gets done properly.
Great. Thanks, Zach. All right. All right, next question. Recent presidents have found it is challenging to find a location where the general membership meetings in for the general membership meetings in Palatine, while also trying to meet a certain set of criteria. Since specific meeting location requirements are not defined in our bylaws, what requirements would you have for a general membership meeting location? Have you already found a location that would meet all of your requirements for future GMs? So Zach, first up for you.
Yeah, this is a great question. Although it's not defined in our bylaws, every president does have the general rules. So that is what defines the meetings and the meeting locations. For me, I think the first and foremost is accessibility. We have members who are disabled and are unable to handle stairs without, or need ramps, lifts, things like that. We need to have a location where everyone who wants to be involved and wants to be able to get to the meeting is able to. We do have that with the current meeting location at Arlington Heights, or at Arlington Lanes. However, we do, lots of people are hard of hearing that can be very loud. So that is another consideration we have to have when finding new locations, that everyone is able to hear, or at least be able to get close enough where they can hear, read lips, whatever needs to be done for them to be able to understand and communicate their points at a meeting effectively. At this time, I don't think I found a location that would meet all those requirements for myself. If elected president, obviously would be one of the first things I would look for and lock down immediately, because it is important that we can involve as many members of the chapter at our general meetings as possible, as that's where we can get our best ideas and have the best feedback on projects and things of that.
Great, thank you, Zach. Megan, your response?
I would also have to agree with Zach on accessibility. In today's world, ADA buildings are sometimes hard to find. We do have members who fall in that community of being in a wheelchair where it is difficult to walk. Making sure that they feel comfortable coming to a meeting. Meeting space is pretty important, especially when we do meet monthly, and getting ideas from members, and really focusing on an area that is a common point within Palatine. So I would love to find a spot that is back in Palatine. While we all love Arlington Lanes, we are the Palatine Jaycees. So I think being back in Palatine would serve us immensely, and being close to those organizations and businesses that we want to work closely with, and building those relationships with community members so that our members can have that connection and find those ideas. But accessibility really is something that's always changing, and we kind of have to change with it and allow that inclusivity of meeting spaces. I also think, as we all are sitting on Zoom, I think there are many of us who don't like Zoom, but I think from a standpoint of being inclusive, bringing that option back, but from a viewing aspect, instead of an engagement, or well, still engagement, sorry, but having that option for those members who may be traveling for work, that you're able to still hop on and listen to what we're talking about each month, and provide your feedback through chat or even an email after to your VP. I think including everyone in the best way that we possibly can is ultimately our goal.
Great. Thank you, Megan. All right. Next question. Megan, you'll respond first. Our bowling league used to be a great opportunity to keep the associates and members connected. However, the league took a break for a few years. When the bowling league started back up, associates were not very involved. Are there any ideas that you can think of which would reconnect the associates with the current members and keep associates active within the chapter? So Megan?
Thank you, Lindsay. I would say we had created a great mentorship program, and I think incorporating not only seasoned members in that mentor program, but also associates. Associates have always been someone that I've looked to if I've needed something. They have a plethora of knowledge. They've been through the Jaycees. While sometimes their ideas might be outdated, they do have great ideas. They have that information about Palatine and what we used to do, and then we hear those ideas and kind of flip it and see how that can correlate to this environment that we're currently living in. But making it in a mentorship that kind of works both ways, that you can kind of bounce ideas off of associates and say, do you think this idea would work? Bringing associates to meetings and having them know that they're more than welcome to come. We'd love to hear their opinions, their ideas. That's how we grow as individuals and leaders. And it gives each of us that opportunity to create projects that we want to see within our community, or establish projects that may have taken a backseat that just haven't worked for us, but bringing them back and saying, hey, this could actually work in this environment now.
Great. And Zach.
I can't remember how many years ago it's been now, but we used to have a segment at the beginning of our general membership meetings where we would bring in past presidents, past large project chairs who are now associates to kind of come back and share their JC stories, how they became JCs, the projects they ran, how they did it, what was involved when they ran it. I think bringing something like that and just hearing those anecdotes from the associates that came before us would be worthwhile, especially to our new members who can really hear and understand the history, especially the Palatine Jaycees have. To Megan's point, a mentorship program is perfect. And really, it's not, we shouldn't even just limit it to just mentoring new members too. Associates are often the soundboard for seasoned members as we figure out what we're doing as we progress and age in our JC careers. So having, things like open forums for associates who held board positions, for those who are interested in potentially running for them, I think would be a great way to help bring back some of the associates to share those stories, to share that experience with us. And honestly, maybe even just opening up some new socials. Bowling was great, but there are other ways we can meet people. We can go, maybe go to like something like a Pinstripes, where it's not all like loud arcades, but it's, indoor bocce ball and a much more laid back atmosphere. We can all enjoy a somewhat like paraprofessional atmosphere while just getting to know everyone and just sharing some stories together as an organization.
Great. Thanks, Zach. Next question. Zach, you'll answer first. A reoccurring response in the areas of improvement category in our chapter survey is that the same people run projects. Why do you think this is? What type of strategy do you feel is the best to expand members' comfort zones to potentially run projects?
Sure. So I think like any social organization, especially one as big as the Palatine Jaycees, there are certain kind of social groups, cliques, sects, whatever you want to call them, kind of get together and run certain projects, are kind of the face of the organization, or constantly trying to do new projects. Maybe it's just because they have a personal goal of wanting to be involved in as many as they want, or just want to have that control over it. It is an unfortunate reality that we have to deal with. However, as president, and having a board together, it's on us to go out and try to reach out to those who maybe are sitting in the back quiet and be like, well, maybe they are interested in running that project. No one bothered to ask them yet. Oftentimes it's really as simple as it is just giving someone the floor and the opportunity to say yes or no to running a project or being involved on a committee. In terms of, to expand members' comfort zones, to run projects, again, we have to ask, we have to meet them where they are. If people are sitting in the back, it's making that reach out, not having all the boards sit at the front, put the board around the general membership, sending personal emails, a direct message here and there, and just getting to know and asking people what their passions are and how they can bring them into the Jaycees. We have, years back, we had a whole group of people who were very involved in home brewing. We had a homebrew project. It was easy. It got new people out to come in. Simply asking around what people are interested, especially from those who may not be willing to share at the group, but might be more willing to share at the one-on-one level, is where we can try to break out of that same people running the same projects mold.
Okay. Thank you, Zach. And Megan, your reply.
Thank you. I would also agree with Zach on the clicks. It's a lot of, you feel comfortable running a project with your friends. And I think we have to get to pushing members outside of their comfort zone. That's how we grow as leaders, as professionals, in our personal experience, and going up to that new member, or maybe it's that seasoned member who hasn't been around because their life has changed and they've done something, and now they're coming back and saying, hey, you used to do this project. Do you think you would feel comfortable mentoring this new member on this project as well? They kind of share the same interest as you. And then reaching out to those members who have just joined and seeing their passions, their hobbies, and their skills, to say, hey, would you be interested in doing something like this? You don't have to do it by yourself. We can pair you up with someone who's run a few projects before, and make it a mentoring experience, so that they then in turn can do that same thing to a new member, and be that mentor for a newer member, and say, hey, I understand where you're at. It's not as scary as it looks. It's a lot of organization and communication, and making it more of an experience, and not so something that's so structured, that we feel like we have to check this, we've reached out, we've done this and this and this, and making it something that you're learning from, without making it seem so scary.
Great. Thank you, Megan. All right. We're almost done. 2 more questions. You guys are doing great. So Megan, you'll have the first response to the next one. So how would you plan to continue your participation in the Jaycees and JCI organization as a whole if you are not elected president?
So I think I come from a background of experience within the local, state, and national experience, and getting all of that knowledge and skills that I have from each of those levels then comes back to really focusing on Palatine and helping to grow those members. So I could see myself mentoring new members and and guiding members through that PMG process. And if someone reaches out, I've always been the person who says, hey, yeah, I'll be there to help you out. Let me know what you need. I'll do it to my fullest capacity, and be there to support you in how you want to see the year go. I can't see myself not being a part of the Jaycees. So ever since college, I've always been the person who's volunteered for everything and anything. So the Jaycees has always been something that I could continue to see myself in, and it's allowed me to grow, and giving that back to members is something that I think is truly empowerful, and giving those members tools to then grow and be leaders just like myself. I think it's really inspiring to see members when they first join the chapter to 5 or 6 years later to see where they're at, knowing that you've contributed to their success and their dreams is something that's really impactful.
Great. Thank you, Megan. And Zach, your response.
Like Megan said, I kind of find it hard to figure out what I would do without the Jaycees. I mean, could I find lots of things? Yes, I'm a dad now, right? I can fill my time. But in all reality, it would be to, practice really what I've been preaching most of this night. Figuring out ways to engage new members, helping them write that first PMG, stepping up to co-chair, with a newer member on some of those bigger projects, like doing another tree lot. I don't know if Hometown Fest is necessarily in like my immediate future, but there's always a chance, in a year or 2, 3, stepping up to help run, that project. I've, continue my involvement with committees, both on the big projects, things like scholarships, on community grants, and just continuing to be an active voice, and one that helps, further the chapter's missions. I can probably say that I'm the only one who's willingly will continue to learn the Robert's Rules of Order. So I'm sure I will. If Megan or whomsoever is president after this will still have me, I'm happy to be the person to continue to help the organization run effective and concise meetings, and help people stay on track, and make sure people are understanding what we're discussing, what we're debating, and just staying involved that way.
All right, great. Thank you, Zach. And we come to our final question now from the members. And Zach, you will answer first. So it's January 2024. What was your greatest accomplishment as chapter president, and what legacy are you leaving with the chapter? The chapter what?
Oh, these are fun. I think right now, if I could see my greatest accomplishment would be to have a thriving and healthy mentorship program for seasoned and new Jaycees coming in. We all know we recruit very well at our large events. The trouble that Palatine Jaycees has had for a long time is continued activation. I think giving people who are willing to and want the opportunity to mentor others, and awarding them that opportunity to do so, to have 4, 5, 6 people who are actively involved with mentoring a new member would be a feather in my cap that I would carry it with me long after I was president, to know that I left the chapter in a place where the future was moving forward, and we had the next batch of leaders, whether they come from the mentors who are helping the new members, or the new members discovering that, hey, yes, I do want to take on a leadership role a few years down the line. As for the legacy, I'm someone who loves doing things with their hands and doing it on their own. So the more I can help people realize that they can do a lot of things that they might not realize that they can do, or had been willing to do before this. Again, it's just about taking the opportunities that Jaycees give you, and making it yours and your own story and your own experience.
Great. Thank you, Zach. And lastly, Megan, your response.
I think my greatest accomplishment would have to be that we've truly emphasized the value of the Jaycees to each member. That value is different for each person. So making you conscious of what you are getting out of the Jaycees, whether that's a personal goal, a professional goal, or maybe even both, that each member of our chapter has fulfilled their dreams for 2023. You've done everything that you've wanted to, or you're on your path for 2024 to get to where you want to be. And that I and the board have given you those tools and resources that will make you feel confident and good about where you're headed for your future as a JC and as a professional, that we've started to grow and activate and motivate our members to use all of the resources that they can find from members and the community, and that we've created a diverse community. I know we've emphasized diversity a lot in the past few months, and especially tonight. It is a concern for members, and I think leaving that legacy and knowing that we have done our best to start or have created a diverse community for members to feel comfortable. That's ultimately where I think our legacy lies in January of 2024.
Great. Thank you, Megan. So, alas, we've reached the end of our evening. So thank you guys for all of your responses to the questions from our chapter members. If you would like to give a few closing remarks that you have not yet touched upon, you have 2 minutes to do so. Megan, I believe you went first in introductions. So if Zach, you would like to make your closing remark first, please go ahead.
Sure. I will keep this short. Thank you everyone for setting some time aside on a Tuesday evening to sit and listen to Megan and I. Truly, we're in a good spot as a chapter, looking at Megan, as much as this is a contested election, I feel very good about the future of the Jaycees, no matter which path is taken moving forward. Seeing these questions is helping me kind of attune to really what membership is looking for. And I can tell you, I will do everything in my power if elected president to work on finding new avenues where we can improve our diversity, improve our inclusiveness, and just being the most welcoming and successful chapter of the Jaycees, both in Illinois and the US.
Great. Thank you, Zach, for all of your feedback today. And Megan, do you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, first, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has come on tonight, everyone who submitted questions, whether you're on Zoom tonight or you are off doing something. And then thank you again to the election committee for putting this on for members. It does provide each of us an opportunity to really think about where we see our future as a chapter personally, and where you think the chapter should be headed for 2023. I think 2023 is a year of really focusing on our members and understanding what you truly want to see and what you want to dream, and allowing you to have those tools and resources to dream to the moon, to the stars. I know we each have these ideas, and I want to just help you and support you, if elected as president, to break those barriers and reach for the stars and dream. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Megan. So thank you, Megan and Zach. So please join us. The election is this coming Thursday at the October General Membership Meeting. So it's Thursday, October 20th at 7:30 p.m. at Arlington Lanes. So members in good standing who are sworn in or before the last month's meeting may vote in person. In order to vote by proxy, you have to have at least attended 5 GMs in person since January 2022, or 50% since being sworn in, and then therefore no less than 2 meetings. So if you are unable to attend in person, please email Hannah Meadow. Her email address is below, or any of the election committee with your vote before probably 7 p.m. on Thursday. So best of luck to Megan and Zach, and thank you to everyone who attended tonight and submitted questions, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you for moderating, Lindsay. It was,
Yes, thank
it
you,
was
Lindsay.
very nice. Very well done.
All right, you're welcome. All right, take a break. Good night, everybody.
Have a good
Enjoy
night,
your
everybody.
evenings.
All right, bye-bye.
Sure. Pause.